I am so excited that I finally get to talk to you about this game. I have been playing this game for months and I am now finally able to talk to you about EA's newest skate game. Honestly, it has been one of those things that I have wanted to talk about at length, but I've not been allowed to. I was really lucky with this. I signed up for the playtests last year, I think it was, and I got accepted into it in like the second or third wave of invites. And I've been playing it for so long. I've not been able to share a single thing about it, but now that early access is out, I can finally share all of my thoughts about this game. Now, there is a little disclaimer here. I am not going to be talking about any of the pre-alpha stuff. I am not going to be showing any screenshots, any videos of what the game was like, because it was a very different looking game. Let's just say textures may or may not have been a thing at that point, all right? But that aside, the core elements of the game have evolved, and it is really interesting to see how the new EA Skate game actually plays. So let's just get into it. So I've been a skateboarding game fan for a long time. I grew up skateboarding, or trying to. I think the best trick I ever learned was like Casper 360 flips. I looked at the Rodney Mullen, all right, so you can kind of see where it was. I couldn't really skate in the streets around by me, but I could do like flat ground stuff in my back garden, so I did a lot of stuff like that. And it was fun. It was really fun. A really fun time getting to skating. A few years ago, me and a few of the boys got back into it again. Heck, one of my best friends has got a half pipe in his garage, so yeah, it's class. It's really good fun just to be able to have like the ability just to go hang out with your friends and just pretend to be teenagers again. And then be reminded every time we hit the floor that our joints are no longer as supple as they used to be. I think if I fall over now, it takes about 2 weeks to recover from just a dodgy wrist. So yeah, it's not something that I look forward to if I hit the ground. But that said, it's still nice to be able to relive those teenage years and have fun doing so. And recently I've talked a lot about skateboarding games on my channel. We had the whole video about Tony Hawk's 3 and 4. I had my entire video on Session as well, and that got a lot of traction and people were really talking about that. And it's really nice to see the community behind that game have some really different takes on that game, and some agreeing with me and some telling me that once again I'm wrong. But it's really nice to have these conversations about these games, because skateboarding games come in all different shapes and sizes. If you're used to playing Tony Hawk games, you're used to the more arcadey, over-the-top feel with these combos that go into the millions and score, and tricks that are just obscene to pull off. And then you've got Session, where kickflipping down a 3-set is one of the best achievements you can probably think of. It's really, really different. And skate was always kind of in the middle. Initially, there was no other option. There was Tony Hawk's or Skate, and Skate was the more realistic style of it. And as the games got on, they kind of lent more into that, with the third one having even like a hardcore mode. So it was very, very, very limited on the assistance that the game gave you. And it's nice to see that that hasn't left. When you start up the new Skate game, you are thrown straight into tutorials, whether you've played the games or not. Trust me, I have been through this tutorial so many times. Every time there was like a big build update to the game, it would just reset my progress and I'd have to start all over again. And I'm pretty certain that was the way for everyone, because it's just a whole new build. And to be honest, I didn't really care. It was a beta, pre-alpha, whatever you want to call it. It was just nice to have the game and just be able to play it. So having to sit through this tutorial didn't really bother me. But if you're not used to the trick system which Skate has, this walks you right through all the options. Now, if you remember back to my Session video, do you remember that I said the left stick controls your left foot and the right stick controls your right foot? So you've kind of got to really think about these moves. So if I wanted to do a 360 flip, I'd have to scoop with the left foot, flick with the right foot, and so on. Skate's kind of like a step before that. So instead of having to do that motion with 2 feet, I do it with just the 1 stick. So I kind of do like a quarter circle and then, or 1/8 of a circle, then I flick it out. So there's a good difference there, and it's a really nice medium ground, and to be honest, I really like it. It's always been a thing that has set that game apart from all the other skateboarding games, because it just kind of made you feel like you were doing the tricks. You had a bit more control over everything, and it wasn't just a button press in one direction. The tutorial takes you through a bunch of different systems, from grinds, from grabs, ollies, to placing markers for you to respawn from. So you have a lot of options here, and it doesn't take too long to get through, let's be honest. And then once you complete that, you're thrown into San Vansterdam, or San Van as I'm going to be calling it from now on. And it's a massive city with loads of different places for you to skate. But the very first place that you're going to go is to the plaza for you to learn how these tricks work and how this game functions. And it's very different to skate games of old. There isn't like a story pulling you through. There's no sort of single player like narrative that you are trying to follow. You are simply skating around San Van and having fun. And you might think, but why would I want to keep doing that? What would make me want to come back and keep playing it again? But the more that you skate, the more challenges you'll find, the more challenges you complete, the more you unlock in the map, which means you have more challenges to complete, which unlock more stuff, which give you more options. Do you have to do them? No. You can have just as much fun doing no challenges and skating around as you do if you unlock everything. But if you unlock everything, it gives you more sort of progression options in the sense of aesthetics, items from the shop and whatnot. So it's up to you how you want to do that. And speaking of challenges, there's a whole ton of them to do. As you look on the map, you'll see these orange little markers, and each one of them corresponds to a different challenge. Some of them are stunt challenges, which require you to do some really stupid bails and stupid slams to try and rack up points. They're quite fun. Probably one of the most challenging ones because you're just basically hoping the physics system lets you do what you need to do. But then you have line challenges where you have to complete a whole host of different things in a skating line without actually bailing or coming off the board, which can be quite tricky, but also really fun when you nail it. You then have own the spot challenges. You've got loads of different options that you can go for. And it's really interesting the amount of depth that's actually there. One thing which has been really nice with it all as well is how much variety there is with them. Sometimes they're really simple, but sometimes they can be quite complex. I've spent like a solid 10 to 15 minutes on some of these challenges before because the margin of error that you have is so small. I really like that in a game that isn't trying to be this simulation game, you still get that level of toughness. There are also missions in this game. So yes, there isn't a story pulling you through, but there are these bigger missions and they're hosted by characters such as Shingo, Slappy, and even the camera takes control at some point. So the camera that follows you around is called V, and it's basically like an AI that follows you and films you and allows you to, do all these things that you're gonna be doing in the game. It talks quite a bit. It can get a little bit repetitive, but it's personality, what can we say? And what these missions will do is they will essentially guide you through some more in-depth stuff. So it might just be learning about holding flip tricks. So instead of doing a single kick flip, you learn how to do doubles, triples, quadruples, and so on, and how to apply that to different stuff, how to apply different mechanics such as lines and how they work and how you build up combos that way. There's a lot that goes into these missions, which makes them a bit more fun and a bit more challenging than just the actual sort of meat and potatoes of the game. They also teach you a lot of the systems as well, like I said. So one of the challenges that Slappy has you do is you putting down the quick drop items. So putting down your own ramps, putting down your own rails, your own quarter pipes, and earning score off of them. And they're really good for that. They're a really good way of telling you about the game without forcing you to sit through all of these tutorials. And plus they unlock new sections of the game. They unlock new items, new things like that. So you can do them, you probably should do them. And they do force you to do a lot of other challenges as well. So to unlock them, you have to have completed X amount of normal challenges first. So in that respect, they do give you a really good bit of understanding of how this game is working. And that's the crux of how this game is built. That's essentially how Skate functions. But aside from the missions that you can do, you've got a whole host of areas that you can skate through. Now the city is split up into three, I think it's three. It used to be three. There is also a fourth spot on your sort of pass. So I don't know what that's all about yet because like I said, my progress reset. So I haven't been able to find out what that's all about. As you unlock these areas, you unlock the ability to level up these areas. And in each one is a skate shop. And this is where EA becomes EA. As you level up the skate shop, you unlock more loot boxes. That's right, folks, loot boxes. Now, these loot boxes are mainly for cosmetic items. Thankfully, the game does a really good job of giving you all the basics that you need. And when I say the basics, I mean things like ramps, rails, quarter pipes. Not any of them are locked solely behind these loot boxes, as far as I've seen so far anyway. The ones that are behind the loot boxes are mainly different cosmetics for them. And to be honest, I don't care if the ramp is zebra print, leopard print, green, pink, blue, whatever. If it's a kicker and I need it in a spot, I'm just gonna skate it. I don't care. So to be honest, the loot boxes in this game, I'm not against, because they're mainly aesthetics, mainly cosmetic stuff. Doesn't really change the gameplay. They're not locking any tricks behind it. They're not locking any missions behind it. so far, so I don't really care. There's also an in-game currency as well, which I haven't spent a penny on, but you can, even though it's in early access now, you can actually invest real money into this game. And I think they said they'd refund it when the game gets reset and goes live. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. They were doing that with like some of the earlier stuff, but I'm not sure that's their policy right now. So just be careful if you are investing in it, okay? And again, this money can be used to purchase more cosmetic stuff. And this is where like the brand deals come in with things like Thrasher and things like Vans. You get these proper branded items of kit that you can wear if you want that. As you can see from my character, I've got the bare bones stuff going on here. And character creation is another way of everyone expressing themselves. And there's a whole host of different options in here. And this is where one of the biggest complaints from sort of the general public has been regarding this game with any footage that's gotten out there so far is, and that's that it kind of doesn't look like a skate game would normally look. It has been referred to as being like Fortnite with skateboards in that respect. And yes, the cartoony aesthetic is a little bit hit and miss for a lot of people. I'm not too fussed on it, but I don't hate it. It's a game. I get to skate and I'm having fun doing that. So to be honest, I'm not really paying attention to how they look because in motion, I'm just focusing on what the board is doing. So yeah, but I can fully get some people having a gripe with it. But remember, the game is free. It is a free to play game. So if you want to up those aesthetics, you can pay a little bit of money and do so. And I'm not encouraging you to do that. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But yeah, the characters are still a little bit goofy looking, but I'm not too angry about it. But what's it like skating in Skate? Well, this is where, I guess, having played so much of Session, I kind of expect a little bit more from this. But then also, given the length of time between this game and Skate 3, I would have expected a few progressions with the system. So the first thing you can do is you can turn down all the assists as much as you want, which I kind of did because I wanted to make it feel a little bit harder and not like I was just magnetized to every rail that I came next to. You can turn on things like slappies, so if you get close to a curve, you can just basically mount it, grind it, and come back off. It's really cool for that. You've got wall rides you can put in. There's loads of different stuff you can try and make this game feel a little bit more unique. And that's really good. The problem comes with how the tricks haven't really been expanded on for this length of time. It does feel really limited when you can't do certain stuff. Some of like the lip tricks aren't fully in there yet. I mean, obviously it's early access, it's not the finished game, but still, like, some things don't feel like they're fully developed yet. And kind of just justified that, I know, with the last sentence I said, but still. I'm also missing things like Caspers, Primo slides. I mentioned this in the Sessions video, how they don't feel finished in that game. They're not even in this one. And it would have been really nice to see the team behind Skate actually manage to put this stuff into the game, because that would really elevate that skating experience for me. It would really give it that edge. Now, again, being that this is going to be a free-to-play live service game, there's nothing saying that this stuff can't come in an update later on. And I am certain there are gameplay changes that are going to come during the length of time that we have this game. I'll probably say that if we look back at this game in 2 years' time after it fully comes out, it's going to look like a completely different game. And you know what? That's cool. All right. I'm glad they're going to be able to do this for it. I know this isn't a finished product. I just really hope that it's not too long before we get some of this stuff. There's even the fact that you can't do stuff like finger flips with the board, and I just really want this game to give me all of the stuff that they could have done within these 15 years. I think it's been 15 years. It's been a long ass time regardless. And if you can't figure out the tricks, there's always the Skatepedia that you can refer to, which takes you through all the major tricks in the game. So it's really handy when you're trying to figure something out. If you want to go, cool, I want to blunt slide this rail, but I don't know how. I can't remember the input for it. You've got the Skatepedia for it. It's how I learned that no complies are in the game, and they're really cool when you pull them off. It's really fun. I'm having a blast playing this. In case you can't tell from the way that I've been talking about it, this is probably one of the least disjointed videos I've ever put out. I'm having such a good time playing this game. And I have been having such a good time playing this game. The fact that it is in early access, and I've been playing it for months, I've racked up nearly like 65 hours or so on this game, and I have enjoyed every second of it. Granted, there have been times when I've been like, ooh, this is rough, but then also remember, this isn't the final build of the game, and it hasn't been the final build of the game for a long time. What we have right now in early access is really good. I'm not sure how many changes will come from this to full release. All I know is that I am having a great time playing this game. I can jump in, I can do a few challenges, I can just find a spot and just skate it. I can session a set of stairs for 10 minutes and just have fun trying to land different combos. It's a blast. It is an absolute blast. There's a whole online mechanic with it as well. So the game is obviously always online. You can party up with friends, you can do co-op challenge, you can just session areas together as well. You can emote with people, you can have a bit of a laugh with that. You can send pre-recorded mess, or pre-written messages, I should say. You can emote with each other. It's really good, the social side of it. And you can then put down your own sort of items and drop different rails together, and everyone can make this unique experience together. It's been a really good time for it. It's been really fun. There's so much to talk about with this game and so much to explore. It's in early access, it's free to play. Why are you not checking it out right now? Because I know you're watching me and you enjoy watching what I do, but after you finish this, go get a drink, go sit down and play the early access version of EA's Skate game. Honestly, it has been a blast. And I'm not saying this because I've just had early access for such a long time with it. I'm saying this because I love skateboarding games. And these games have been part of me for growing up for so long. Skate was my favorite franchise with it. Skate 2 was my favorite one of all of them. This new version of Skate is just so good. I really hope as the game goes forward that the world expands, because it can feel a little bit claustrophobic once you've skated it for a while. I've invested a lot of time in it. I've obviously seen pretty much everywhere that's in it. It kind of does feel like it needs to grow a little bit, but again, I'm one of the rare cases where I've seen this game for a very long time. Most people going into it now aren't going to have that feeling. And I have to remember that how I first felt when I got this game, it's big. It is big. It's just I've been everywhere. So call me Pitbull and Mr. Worldwide. There is a lot of negative criticism online regarding how the game looks, regarding some of the fact that you've got the really goofy bail system in it. There's no Hall of Meat in this game either yet. So there's definitely some stuff missing, which I wish was there. There's definitely some stuff that's got some people riled up as well. But for the most part, I think it is a brilliant, brilliant game, and I'm really glad it's here. And the fact that I don't have to commit my money to it makes it even better, all right? So yeah, go check it out. You're gonna have a blast. I'm loving it. I'm gonna finish editing this video and then I'm gonna go play it, because I've been playing it for ages and I really want to see some of you online having fun with it and just, you know, seeing what people can do and seeing some of the stuff people can make up with it. I haven't been able to share anything for so long, and I can finally talk about it. So I am sorry for gushing about this game, but it has just been a blast to play. Seriously, it is such a good game. Download it, go have some fun, go out there and have some sick sessions, and just to have a blast playing this game. And if you don't, you didn't pay anything. Who cares? I can't believe I've spent an entire video praising EA. What's this world coming to?